How did a small, rainy island off the coast of Europe come to shape so much of the modern world? It's a question that echoes through history, and the answer is as complex as the island itself. Britain gave us parliamentary democracy, the Industrial Revolution, and the English language, tools and ideas that have influenced billions of lives across continents and centuries. It also gave us Shakespeare's timeless plays, the Beatles' revolutionary music, and the rules for football, a sport now beloved around the globe. For better or worse, Britain's story is woven into the story of almost everywhere else, leaving marks of culture, language, and legacy in every corner of the world. But our story doesn't begin with kings or queens, or even with the idea of Britain as a nation. Imagine a time before England, Scotland, or Wales existed, when the land was divided among Celtic tribes, each with their own customs and beliefs. These were skilled metal workers, farmers, poets, and warriors living in hill forts and round houses, crafting intricate jewellery and telling stories by firelight. Their world was one of deep forests, misty marshes, and powerful druid priests who held sway over spiritual and daily life, connecting people to the mysteries of nature. They built Stonehenge, a mysterious monument that still baffles us today, standing as a silent witness to their ingenuity and beliefs. This was Britain in its infancy, vibrant, mysterious, and chaotic, a land of constant change and untold stories. But the Romans were coming, bringing roads, laws, armies, and a new way of life that would forever alter the island's destiny. The age of Celtic Britain was about to end, marking the first of many great transformations that would shape the island's extraordinary story. In 43 AD, the Roman Empire invaded Britain, forever altering the course of its history. The arrival of the Roman legions was not just a military conquest, it was the beginning of a new era for the island. The Romans brought with them advanced engineering, building roads that crisscrossed the countryside, luxurious bathhouses, and the written word, leaving behind inscriptions that still survive today. Towns like Londinium and Bath became bustling Roman hubs, centres of trade, culture and administration, dramatically changing daily life for native Britons and introducing them to new customs and ideas. Some Britons found new opportunities under Roman rule, gaining wealth or status, while others faced subjugation, heavy taxes, and the loss of their traditional freedoms. Hadrian's Wall, a massive stone barrier, marked the very edge of the Roman world, separating Roman Britain from the untamed lands to the north. For nearly 4 centuries, Britain remained a Roman province. But when the legions finally withdrew, chaos and uncertainty followed. Roman towns decayed, their once bustling streets falling silent. Into this power vacuum came new invaders, the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes, crossing the sea in search of land and opportunity. These newcomers brought their own language, beliefs and traditions, laying the foundations for what would become England, a land named after the Angles. The so-called Dark Age was anything but empty. It was a time of epic poetry, glittering treasures like Sutton Hoo and the gradual return of Christianity to the land. Small kingdoms rose and fell, locked in fierce battles for dominance, each leaving its own legacy on the landscape and the people. Then, from across the North Sea came the Vikings, fearsome raiders and skilled conquerors from Scandinavia, who struck terror into the hearts of the island's inhabitants. For a time, much of England fell under their rule, in a region known as the Danelaw, where Norse laws and customs held sway. The stage was set for another epic showdown, as cultures clashed and new identities emerged from the struggle. Britain's unique identity was forged in these centuries of invasion, adaptation, and resilience, as each wave of newcomers left their mark. Every era shaped the land and its people, layering history upon history in the very soil of Britain. And as the sun rose on a new age, the next great turning point in Britain's story was just over the horizon. If one date changed everything, it was 1066. King Edward died without an heir, sparking a 3-way battle for the throne. Harold Godwinson, Harold Hardrada, and William of Normandy all claimed the crown. Harold defeated the Vikings, but William landed in the south. Exhausted, Harold's army faced William at the Battle of Hastings. The English shield wall held, but a stray arrow killed Harold. William the Conqueror triumphed, launching a revolution. He replaced the Anglo-Saxon elite with Norman lords and built stone castles. Power now spoke Norman French, the people spoke Old English. Over time, these languages merged into modern English. 1066 didn't just change England, it created it. The country's identity, language, and ruling class were transformed. The echoes of this conquest still shape Britain today. A new era had begun. After the Norman conquest, royal drama ruled. Kings like Richard the Lionheart fought abroad. King John was forced to sign Magna Carta, declaring no one above the law. The Church held immense power, but Henry VIII's break with Rome changed everything. The Reformation tore the country apart, swinging between Protestant and Catholic rulers. Henry dissolved monasteries, seizing their wealth and land. Elizabeth had tried to find a middle way, but faith could still get you killed. A century later, King Charles I clashed with Parliament, sparking civil war. Parliament won, and in 1649 Charles was executed. England briefly became a republic. The monarchy returned, but absolute power was gone for good. Britain's government would never be the same. The struggle between crown, church, and people shaped the nation's future. The seeds of modern democracy were sown. Britain was once several kingdoms: England, Scotland, and Wales. In 1603, James VI of Scotland became James I of England, uniting the crowns. The 1707 Acts of Union merged England and Scotland into Great Britain. Later, Ireland joined, creating the United Kingdom. This new state became a global powerhouse. The Industrial Revolution fueled the rise of the British Empire. At its height, it ruled a quarter of the world's land and people. The sun never set on the empire, but it was built on conquest and exploitation. The transatlantic slave trade and colonial rule caused immense suffering. The empire's legacy is both pride and pain. Understanding this duality is key to understanding modern Britain. The question of how to reconcile achievement with injustice remains. The empire's shadow still lingers. The 20th century began with Britain at its peak, ruling over a vast empire that spanned continents and shaped the world. London was the heart of this global power, bustling with energy and ambition. But two devastating world wars changed everything, leaving scars on the nation and its people that would last for generations. Victory came at a heavy price, leaving the country exhausted, financially drained, and struggling to rebuild from the ruins. As the empire unraveled, colonies across Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean gained independence, ending centuries of British rule and reshaping the world map. At home, the creation of the NHS in 1948 was a bold step, offering free healthcare for all and symbolizing a new era of social progress. Britain invited people from its former colonies to help rebuild, and soon vibrant new communities began to flourish, creating a truly multicultural society. The arrival of the Empire Windrush in 1948 marked a new chapter, as the Windrush generation brought fresh energy, culture, and dreams to British shores. By the 1960s, London was swinging. Music, fashion, and film made Britain the centre of a cultural revolution, capturing the imagination of the world. The Beatles and the Rolling Stones led this wave, inspiring millions and transforming British identity through their groundbreaking music. Britain's influence became cultural, not colonial, as its music, films, and fashion reached every corner of the globe. Yet economic troubles and heated political debates over national identity soon followed, challenging the country's sense of self. The UK joined the European Economic Community in 1973, forging new alliances and shaping its politics and economy for decades to come. Through the 1980s and 1990s, Britain struggled to define itself in a rapidly changing world, searching for a new place on the global stage. The old certainties were gone, the future was unwritten, and the nation faced uncertainty about what lay ahead. But out of this uncertainty, a new identity was emerging, one that embraced diversity, creativity, and hope for the future. In the 21st century, the UK is a mix of ancient and modern. The monarchy endures, but society is multicultural and dynamic. Tradition and innovation define British identity. In 2016, Brexit exposed deep divisions between generations, regions, and nations. The vote reignited calls for Scottish independence and tensions in Northern Ireland. The UK feels less united than ever, grappling with its past and future. Can a nation forged from conquest and union hold together? The story of Britain is still being written by its politics, culture, and people. From ancient Celts to today's challenges, it remains an epic saga. What will the next chapter hold? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through history, please like and subscribe for more stories from the past and present.